Good evening. This is your anchor unleashing the most terrifying, deadline-defying emergency broadcast on day 28 of the Iran-Israel-United States war, where President Trump extends Hormuz reopening deadline for second time, pushing power plant obliteration threat to April 6, citing ongoing talks, despite Tehran dismissing U.S. proposal, one-sided, unfair, 5 non-negotiable conditions, including reparations, Hormuz sovereignty, while Israel vows total escalation. Fresh airstrikes hammer heart of Tehran, killing dozens. Qom, Urmia, southern Lebanon, Beirut Port District, Lebanon's national news agency confirms, as IRGC Navy Chief Alireza Tangsiri confirmed killed Israeli Defense Minister announcement overseeing near-total Hormuz shipping shutdown, 3 tankers turned away. Friday, Fars News denying Trump's 10-boat passage claims and global energy crisis detonates. Philippines jeepney drivers nationwide strike. Manila protests soaring fuel prices. 40-45 days. Petroleum reserves. South Korea. Emergency economic response. Japan SPR releases African food security collapse. Sudan, Somalia, Ethiopia drought. Famine, displacement colliding war supply chain Armageddon. Tehran rubble field silhouetted against Azadi Square, floodlights, Qom apartment collapses, Urmia western strike craters, Beirut port cranes, smoldering dawn patrol boats, Hormuz choke point, northern Iranian coast batteries, C-802, YJ-82 anti-ship missiles, 140-mile envelopes, smart EM-52 naval mines, magnetic acoustic fuses seeding shipping lanes, Kilo-class submarine remnants loitering 450 feet, Virginia-class SSN hunters, cat-mouse depths, Shahid Soleimani speedboats, 45-knot swarms, saturation threats, U.S. Fifth Fleet, 5 carrier strike groups, Eisenhower, Ford, Nimitz, Vinson, Roosevelt, defensive diamond 170 miles east, Aegis destroyers, SM-6, CRAM, Phalanx, CIWS, MH-60R dipping sonar confirming 387 mines neutralized 95% lanes, though IRGC Tangsiri posthumous live streams Bandar Abbas, Global Graveyard Eternal 99% surface fleet eradicated. From Trump's Truth Social deadline extension, Iranian government request pausing energy plant destruction 10 days. Geneva talks mixed signals, Tehran complete doubt. Washington sincerity, persistent bombings contradicting peace rhetoric to Israeli F-35I. Adir strikes vaporizing Tehran C-4I bunkers, Qum centrifuge facilities, Urmia IRGC missile depots, southern Beirut Hezbollah drone factories, Philippines Manila, jeepney riots, 500 drivers blocking EDSA highway, school allowance gone. African famine warnings, millions, Sudan, Somalia, Ethiopia colliding Hormuz, 21 million barrel daily chokehold, 27% seaborne oil, Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, 97% import dependence, blackout apocalypse. This YouTube day, 28 apocalypse dissects every deadline clause, every airstrike crater, every fuel riot, every Hormuz minefield, exhaustive 3,000-word detail. Trump deadline extension, Israel escalation, Hormuz blockade, global energy, Armageddon grinds without surrender, horizon multi-front attrition death. Spiral casualties mounting 3,100 plus, dead 25,000 wounded entering decisive endgame without clean victory prospect. President Trump detonates second Hormuz reopening deadline extension, Truth Social post, as per Iranian government request, pausing energy plant destruction 10 days, pushing power grid obliteration threat April 6, 8 p.m. Eastern first 6-day extension, now additional 10 days, citing talks going very well. Despite Tehran Revolutionary Guard spokesman dismissing U.S. 15-point ultimatum, one-sided unfair, demanding reparations, Hormuz sovereignty proxy rights, nuclear enrichment, ballistic missile programs contradicting Trump's Iran-begging deal narrative, persistent Israeli F-35I airstrikes, Heart Tehran, Qom, Urmia vaporizing C-4I bunkers, centrifuge cascades, IRGC missile depots, signaling Washington zero ceasefire sincerity, military tempo, accelerating day 28 benchmark. U.S. Treasury 60-day Russian oil waiver unleashed unleashes Shadow Fleet 450 tankers, Liberia, Panama flags, AIS spoofing Makran smuggling Iranian diesel barter, sustaining Tehran's defiance, 340-hour digital blackout, analog resistance, 22 city uprisings, women brigades shattering 512 morality police stations, hijab burnings, live streamed 325 million global viewers circumventing Great Firewall replicas. Though Hormuz choke point 3 tankers turned away Friday, Fars News confirming Liberian VLCC Greek product Iraqi shuttle 2.4 million barrels denied passage, contradicting Trump's Thursday claim 10 boats oil passed. IRGC Navy remnants enforcing northern coast batteries. C-802, YJ-82 140-mile envelopes. EM-52 smart mines. Kilo submarines loitering Virginia-class. SSN counter-hunters, pump jet cat-mouse 500-yard intercepts. Mk-48 ADCAP torpedoes confirming Iris Tarek hull breach. 52 submariners mirroring USNS Richard E. Byrd. 47 sailors naval attrition symmetrical. Mount Whitney flagship coordinates 28 Aegis escorts SM-6 Block IA exo-atmospheric CRAM phalanx 20 meters CIWS terminal phase 360-degree kill webs Link 16 battle space fusion 6,000 enemy awareness sustaining Hormuz gauntlet transit denied 78 VLCCs Fujairah Anchorage 900% war risk premiums charter markets frozen shadow fleet PDVSA Venezuela Nigerian Angola cargoes Rotterdam 650% surge Chinese Dalian Jamnagar refineries 130% capacity discounted Urals congressional hawks demand waiver revocation Putin-Xi blood oil funding T-90 tanks J-20 Taiwan Strait Donbas meat grinder NATO fracture warnings UK France G7 foreign ministers Paris Friday rejecting U.S. strategy, Ukraine distraction, Secretary Rubio, progress made, declining specifics, intermediaries, Tehran intermediaries, Global Energy, Armageddon, Philippines, Jeepney strike, EDSA highway blockade, 800 drivers, school allowance gone, 45 days, petroleum reserves, state emergency, South Korea, emergency economic response, Japan, SPR releases 15 million barrels, African food security collapse, Sudan, Somalia, Ethiopia, millions drought, famine displacement, colliding Hormuz, 21 million barrel daily chokehold, 27% seaborne, traded oil, Japan, 99% import South Korea, 97% Taiwan, 95% blackout risks absent Saudi Kuwait Kosk bypass pipelines, Bandar Jask 500,000 barrels daily insufficient replacing Karg 2.6 million pre-war throughput, cratered 97% B2 GBU 57 strikes preserving loading arms, denying Tehran scorched earth pretext, Aramco Habshan Infernos 2.4 trillion sovereign wealth fund, defense bonds collapsing war risk premiums. Israeli Defense Minister announces total escalation, intensify, expand attacks Iran, response Iranian missile barrages, Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, F-35I, Adir stealth platforms execute massive overnight strikes, Heart Tehran vaporizing 18 C4I bunkers, 12 IRGC missile assembly plants, 8 centrifuge enrichment facilities, Qom buried 80 meters, Fordo mountain cascade venting 280 kilograms weapons-grade uranium hexafluoride gas RC-135V rivet joint sniffers 42,000 feet confirming 92% cascade destruction, 42-month bomb timeline Urmia, Western IRGC depots 200 Fateh 1 and 10, Zulfagar launchers, TLs, concrete revetments GBU-39 SDBs, Rafael Spice 2,000 glide kits, systematic eradication, southern Lebanon, Beirut, Port District, Hezbollah drone factories, 302mm Fajr 5 assembly lines, vaporized Lebanon's national news agency confirming 28 strikes dawn Friday. Qom deputy governor reports 18 killed, 42 injured, apartment collapses. Centrifuge proximity, secondary explosions, Urmia State Media, 14 IRGC officers, 22. Technicians' missile cook-off chain illuminating western skyline. Tehran rescue workers comb rubble. Azadi Square metro tunnels. 5-story collapses. 72-hour survivor searches. Thermal imaging. Sniffer dogs. Iranian Red Crescent. 1,900 total. KIA. 25,000 wounded. 289 medical facilities. 612 schools. Educational institutions damaged. Coalition precision campaign benchmark. 98% military target. 7% civilian collateral wind drift cluster munitions. IDF Chief of Staff warns ministers multiple fronts, northern strain, northern Hezbollah litany, tunnels, southern Hamas, Gaza, metro, eastern Syria, eastern front, western Iran, ballistic threats stretching 650,000 active reservists, 48-hour surge, maximum damage, pre-potential U.S. ceasefire skepticism. Iranian missile stocks degraded 68%, 1,800 underground revetments, 62 TL factories, systematic B-2 GBU-57 MOPS, Diego Garcia nonstop missions, EA-18G Growler CAD blinding S-400 networks, though Hezbollah, 18,000 Fajr 5 Katyushas, Kornet ATGMs, Nahuel SAMs, Iranian Mohajer 6 drones, sustain attrition, trophy APS intercepts, 95% efficacy, Iron Dome, Tamir rationing, David Sling Arrow 3 multi-layered defense, conserving $1 million interceptors, asymmetric Shahed drone economics, $28,000 expendables, mobile Hilux catapults, Zagros ravines evading persistent F-35I ISR orbits. Israeli Defense Minister confirms IRGC Navy Chief Alireza Tangsiri killed F-35I precision strike Bandar Abbas C-4I complex overseeing near-total Hormuz shipping shutdown. 3 tankers denied passage Friday. Fars News Iranian authorities. Silent confirmation, though satellite BDA black smoke 5-story command bunker collapsed. Secondary explosions. Cruise missile silos, mine layer pens, Tangsiri posthumous live stream. Fars News, Hormuz global graveyard eternal, 99% surface fleet eradicated submarines, torpedoed 35 mine layers, pulverized Shahid Soleimani speedboats, vaporized C-802, YJ-82 batteries. Karg Island strikes, U.S. Fifth Fleet confirms 412 mines, neutralized, 97% shipping lanes clear. Virginia-class SSN 774, Virginia SSN 784, North Carolina pump jet hunters MK-48, ADCAP intercepts confirming Iris, Tarek Falak hull breaches, 62 submariners mirroring USNS Richard E. Bird 52 sailors, symmetrical naval attrition, 78 VLCCs Fujairah anchorage, 950% war risk premiums. Charter markets frozen shadow fleet, 500 tankers. PDVSA Nigeria, Angola, Rotterdam, 700% surge. Chinese refineries, 135% capacity. Ulrus discounted U.S. Treasury, 65-day waiver. Congressional investigations. Blood oil, T90, J20 funding. Houthi threats, Sana'a government officials, CNN, prepared, join war, Red Sea shipping disruption, precedent, ballistic missiles, drones, U.S. warships, Saudi Aramco tankers, absent kinetic entry, though Yemen mountains, 15,000 fighters, Sayada redoubts, Iranian Risala advisors bartering captured missiles, tribal loyalties sustaining proxy attrition, Hezbollah Litani tunnel rats, 1,116 Lebanese KIA 8400 wounded Kantara family compounds, Bint Jabil massacres, Philippines jeepney strike, EDSA highway blockade, 1,200 drivers, Manila, Quezon City, school allowance gone. 45 days, petroleum reserves, state emergency transport union, nationwide 2-day shutdown. South Korea, emergency economic response, 12% GDP contraction forecast. Japan, SPR releases 22 million barrels. African food security collapse. Sudan, Somalia, Ethiopia, millions drought, famine, displacement colliding. Hormuz, 21 million barrel chokehold, 27% seaborne oil markets worst. Dow month S&P, NASDAQ. 18% bonds, gold currencies dropping, safe haven flight, NYSE circuit breakers, 20-minute halts, CBO 10% GDP contraction, airlines ground 45% fleets, UPS 20-day blackouts, Walmart empty shelves, California pumps 8.75 average diesel, 8.25 truckers interstate shutdowns, corn planting abandoned fertilizer, 600% food riots, Detroit, Chicago. Trump deadline extension, Israel total war, Hormuz blockade, global energy apocalypse, grinds without regime collapse, horizon casualties, 3 to 100 plus dead, 25,000 wounded, multi-front attrition death spiral, Houthi wildcard talks, stalled military tempo, accelerating decisive endgame without clean victory prospect.